first attack event that defended.
I think it's like
People deluded, I'm back again. Good evening to everybody listening, all morning, all afternoon, all night, depending on where you're operating from. I know the work rate don't stop. I hang around like a bad smell. Well, good smell if you can smell me right now, smelling like $1 million. Now, obviously, let's actually just get straight into it and let's see what the latest news, rumors, talking points concerning Arsenal. There's, depending on where you look, Declan Rice is going to City or Bayern Munich. Arteta has spoken. In fact, I should have been more prepared, people. Just give me a second before we get right into it. I've actually got another link that we could use. Where is it? There we have it. Thank you. Here we have that. And we'll need that for when we speak about Declan Rice. But let's get into it. Arteta on the season of positive summers and aims, people. Specifically, he has said, we have achieved reaching the Champions League with 5 or 6 games to go and we finished second. I think we have developed a lot of players and taken them to a very different stage of their careers, and they have contributed to the team exceptionally well. We have created and developed a huge relationship with our fan base and created something special around the team. Facts, I can't disagree with that. Well, speaking for myself, I believe that. So if I look at it that way, there are a lot of positives to take from the season, probably more than we expected with the capacity, ability, and resources the team had. True. Doesn't make it any more disappointing how it's ended, and just away from the title and stuff, just how we've been playing. And although it's an impossible job, near enough beating Man City to the title, I mean, some people will just focus on the negatives of us falling off. Some people will overcompensate the positives that we weren't expected to be here. The truth is in the middle in that we didn't expect to finish second. We've had a great season, one of many positives, but there's many learning curves. And ultimately, the least you wanted to do is run City close to the wire. You've made it easier for them, we've made it easier for them, especially as they're focusing on the treble, really. They can afford to rest players. They probably played their Z team against Chelsea, which still would probably get top 4. There's no way around it. We need to improve defensively. We need to cut out the defensive mistakes. We need reinforcements. I do think the mental capacity of this team, there's a lot more grit and determination. But in terms of winning trophies and in them tight moments, we've capitulated. We capitulated in the Europa League again. We capitulated, before the season's done, really. So at best, let's just end the season strong against Wolves, get 3 points, keep it moving, focus on the good and make it great, evidently improve where we need to improve, people. So, yeah, we have developed a good relationship and there's many positives. So I look at it that way. There are a lot of positives to take from the season. Well, sorry, probably more than was expected with the capacity, resources and ability the team had. But as well, we spent 248 days on top of the Premier League. And at the end, we didn't have enough or show enough to win it. So, again, there you have it, really. As much as I think football and sport is deeper than just winning and losing, and there's many more positives beyond that. History favors the brave. History only remembers the winners. History is written by the winners. The winners win and the losers explain. And we're going to have to explain why this season hasn't happened the way it could have been. We could have really achieved something, a Premier League in some Arsenal fans' first lifetime. And in my 27 years, since primary school, 28, I just turned 28 in April, since primary school, people, and the first of the Emirates era, we tried our best. I don't doubt that. But I think if we answer ourselves honestly, if we could have given more, if we could have done better, the answer could only be yes. We made some huge mistakes that have cost us, but the reality is there's a team that you have to congratulate, and that's Man City as well as Pep and the coaching staff. True. Throughout 38 games, they've been more consistent, and when that happens, you have to shake hands and say congrats. Take a lot of things that you've done well over the season, keep them and learn from the others that need to change or improve to go to another level. Can't disagree with what he said there. When you are 2-0 up at Anfield and you draw the game in the 90th minute, which we could have lost had they have bagged the penalty. When you've got West Ham and you're 2-0 up after 20 minutes, enjoying complete domination and miss a penalty. Again, the missed penalty should have been irrelevant. The game should have been put up and sharp. Yes, it was a pivotal moment. We could have probably nicked 3 points. But at the end of the day, football's deeper than that. Across 90 minutes, you can't be good for 20 minutes, 25, 30, 45. You need to be the better team across 90. And even in games we've won, really, we haven't always done that, really. So individual mistakes on the transitions, collective outlook on defending, handling ourselves mentally. I think when you look at the Southampton game, the City game, the Brighton game, amongst others, holding on to leads, you can go back to Brentford at home as well, really and truly. these are the fine margins, really. You have to win that game. Then you have Southampton, and you basically give them 2 goals, and you have a mountain to climb. We could have won it at the end, but drew 3-3. So the 4th game against City becomes crucial, and it didn't need to get to that against City if we're completely honest with ourselves. And as you know, if you find yourselves conceding 2 goals, you can get something out of the game. We definitely know that, Arsenal fans, because we've given up that lead. Anytime you concede 3 goals, you're wishing on a star. And to be honest, Aston Villa, Bournemouth, Man United at home, when you were, sometimes you're going to have that across the season. But when you get through the emotions of that game and stuff, and you break it down and look at it without emotion, there are many things we could have done better. And the signs have been there all season. Ultimately, what led to our demise, for as good as the season has been, somewhat, in my opinion, really. To be fair, they were much better than us. They were better than us. But I remember doing my watch along, looking in the tunnel. Not that I know these players personally, or I'm not a mind reader or anything. We looked defeated. We looked scared against Southampton because of the outside influences. We looked feeling sorry for ourselves against Brighton. We looked shook against Southampton, not necessarily of Southampton, but with what's going on. City, we didn't make it difficult, really. The only thing I demand of Arsenal Football Club every game of across 38 games is to be competitive and be at your maximum. If a team beats you in that regards, cool. And a great City are great. They knew that we would crumble. They knew that it was a marathon, not a sprint. But I don't think a single person at Arsenal can really say, not that they didn't give it their best, but we didn't run it as fast as we could, and we crumbled, really. We were sitting ducks. The hunters became the hunted. To be fair, so yeah, man, they raised their level like they did against Real Madrid the other day. They didn't need to do that against us. And when they play at their level, it's like, wow, we could not reach that. Psychologically paid a big price on the team. Looking back, even if we won at Anfield and against West Ham and Southampton, we could have still finished second, of course. In the end, you have to beat them when you go toe-to-toe with them, because that's 12 points, 6 points more than we would have had them, and they have 6 less. I mean, as I said, run it to the maximum. Finally, the gaffer said, I think we're in a moment of a journey. We have built a lot, which is true, but we can't rest on our laurels. We can't just assume because of what we've done great and other teams are doing, in City being whatever, that we're at a level that we're not. We need to go to another level. We have a great foundation and we have become really competitive, but now I think it's time to press the reset button and go again. We have to be faster, more determined and more ruthless, because the dimension that opens up now is bigger, but the margins are really small. So we have to be really smart. Can't disagree with that. Saka and Ramsdale have also been called up for England, people. And on that as well, Emil Smith-Rowe has been selected for the under-21s Euro training camp as they gear up for the under-21s European Championships next month, people, which actually Smith-Rowe needs to play in that, needs to do that, treat that as a mini pre-season. Whether you're going to stay at Arsenal, go on loan, leave permanently, you've got a Euros to think about, and you're an outside chance, but you have been capped by Southgate before. I think people need to put more respect on your name and remember what you're doing. In life, it's not about the past, it's about the present. But use that Euros as a springboard, really, to come back into Arsenal. In an ideal world for me, pre-season, do the business, people. So, yeah, shout out to Ramsdale, Saka, and obviously Smith-Rowe. Shout out to young Miles Lewis-Skelly and Ethan Nweri, who have probably, I watched the under-17, European Championship. They drew 0-0 against Switzerland. Probably fortunate because Switzerland missed a penalty. Abnormal amount of penalties actually being missing in that game. What's that? 2 wins. They've got 2 wins and a draw. They're through now. So big up everybody representing Arsenal, innit? But getting back on this, Thomas Tuchel names Declan Rice as one of his top targets this summer. Chelsea want Declan Rice anyways, or wanted him. Tuchel's a big fan. To be fair, you go to Germany. I know there's all this talk about wanting to stay in London, and I'm sure he does. But I think if a club like Bayern Munich register their interest in you, if Pep Guardiola in City register an interest in you, forget where you live, go out there and learn, people. Apparently, Bayern Munich are reportedly open to meeting West Ham's demands for Rice, in which if you're West Ham, you'd probably, if you could sell him to Arsenal, Newcastle, Liverpool, Man United, Man City, Arsenal, whoever's linked with him, say, go F off to Bayern Munich. There's nothing to do with us, really. He's expected to leave. Arsenal are the favourites. We're the front runners. We're this, and I'm not doubting it. But until a man is holding a scarf saying how he was always an Arsenal fan growing up, and it's signed and documented and sealed, and every I has been dotted and T has been crossed, anything can happen. But Bayern Munich are set to rival Arsenal for the signature of Declan Rice, people. It's expected, people, that was his last game at the London Stadium. For his sake, I'm sure he wishes he can win the Conference League and leave, having secured the status of the club in the Premier League, bringing a European trophy as their captain, keep it moving. I'm sure Rice, like a number of players that could be participating at the Euros Championships 2024, want their futures decided early. Selfishly, from an Arsenal point of view, you saw what it did for Zinchenko and Jesus, and probably for Fabio Vieira in terms of gelling in with the lads, get the players in early. Right. However, Rice is also on the short list of Thomas Tuchel, who, as reported by Sky Germany, considers the 24-year-old to be one of their top targets. It's also said that the Bundesliga side could be willing to pay the package demanded by West Ham. They don't typically shell out on transfers, but Bayern Munich have the resources. And for someone that's 24 that can give them a lot of longevity, is probably an exception to the rule. However, talks are not yet at an advanced stage yet, and it's unclear whether Rice sees his future there or where he sees his future, people. So we're going to have to see what's going to be done. Apparently, if they're willing to meet West Ham's demands, it could come as a blow to Arsenal. Mail Sport reported this week that Arsenal are considering alternatives to Rice, as they should. It's just simple competencies, because he might not sign for us. Half the players we're linked with are wanted by everyone. The Hammers want considerably more for their star player. Got a year left plus an option of another one. So in theory, until 2025, contracted right now until 2024. It's believed that Man United would be more likely to meet their demands. Fair enough, get your P's. Arsenal hope Rice wants to stay in London, but they also have interest in Real Sociedad's Martin Zubimendi, who Barcelona are intent on bringing in, Ruben Neves, who allegedly has rejected us, and Caicedo, who we got rejected for in January, people. Apparently, City, meanwhile, have weighed up a move for Rice. They'll have concerns his playing style could clash with Rodri, who has become an influential figure in the heart of the midfield, which is true. But, I mean, City play a lot of games. There's times to be rotated. And to be fair, Rice has got to be better than what Calvin Phillips has displayed currently, people. Again, a journalist, Matteo Moretto, forgive me for mispronunciation, has also kind of weighed in on Manchester City looking at Declan Rice, people. Obviously, Arsenal, Bayern Munich, Newcastle have been listed, along with, obviously, the other top teams in the Prem. You look back in March, allegedly the same journalist said, in case Jude Bellingham does not join Man City, which he could still in theory, but it looks like he's going to Real Madrid, a name Guardiola is closely following is Declan Rice. So we'll have to see how that goes. Again, kind of the same article saying the same things, people, but then it's in the details. It says, if Bayern are to try and bid for Rice, players in midfield would need to be sold alongside Marcel Sabitzer, who's on loan at Man United, Gravenberch, who's been linked with Liverpool, and if they get him, McAllister, and a couple others, they're back in business. Or Goretzka could be sold. Gravenberch is seen as unsellable, but if a suitable offer for the 21-year-old comes in, he's been linked with us as well. They'll consider a move. Goretzka has struggled in the second half of the season, but it remains unclear if Bayern will sell the 28-year-old. They've also considered Kovacic, Rabiot and Verratti, but nothing has been pursued at this moment in time, people. Looking a lot more likely, Arsenal's chances of signing fast player this summer have gone up, says a journalist, allegedly, people, says Tom White. We'll have to see exactly what's been said here. He said, Declan Rice to Arsenal, that is a story I have nothing to do with, by the way, so it's irrelevant what he says to a degree, but I don't want to get your hopes up. It is looking a lot more likely than I thought it was going to be a couple of weeks ago, by the way. Let's say I found out that Rice was going to Arsenal. I can't just put that in the news immediately. I have to get another source, ring Arsenal and ask them to confirm it, and ring West Ham and ask them to confirm it. So actually hasn't said anything new there at all. We've been linked with Kim Min-jae, as have Manchester United and a bunch of other clubs. Napoli have kind of shot themselves in the foot. He has a 40 million odd release clause, people, allegedly, people, or something around that. So for me, I'm having him at Arsenal as a right-sided centre-back. They're desperately trying to convince him to sign a new deal, which I'm not too sure would be the best thing for him away from just getting more money. Sources also confirmed that United are not the only club courting Kim and not the only one in England. Liverpool and Newcastle are both confirmed admirers and are both in the market for central defenders this off-season, whilst believe Arsenal, Chelsea and Man City are also aware of the situation and could yet be involved. It's also listed Paris Saint-Germain, people, even with bringing in Skriniar. Real Madrid and Barcelona are being kept informed. Kim himself is set for military service in June, but come July, he'll make a decision on where he wants to play next season. It's looking increasingly likely he'll be away from Naples. You know what? No, that's in many ways, Naples or Napoli, better yet, is a great place to be at. Religious football followers, massive club, just won the Italian division as well. But at the same time, you don't know what next season is going to have. There's no better time to get out than when you're on top, allegedly, people, and not overstay your welcome, which I'm not suggesting he is. Away from that, Arsenal and Liverpool have been linked with Okan Koku, who we've been linked with for a number of years. Obviously, Reece Nelson was on loan at Feyenoord last season. Forgive me if I'm wrong. Did Feyenoord did they not just win the Eredivisie or something like that, people? It's claimed Benfica are interested in him. For what it's worth, the 22-year-old's got a very good technical level, very experienced, captained Feyenoord. So he's got the right sort of principles, but I'm not too sure if Arsenal are really looking at him, not that I know anything. Arsenal and Liverpool are both said to be watching the midfielder who had 12 goals and 5 assists in 45 games this season. Sevilla also another club. So you've got Sevilla, Benfica, Liverpool and Arsenal allegedly name dropped. So everybody's interested in everyone. going on to Granit Xhaka, apparently Granit Xhaka will complete his move from Arsenal to Leverkusen in the next few days with a €15 million deal agreed between both sides, and he'll sign on the deal until 2027. You would imagine Mikel Arteta or Xhaka kind of confirmed that after the Wolves game or on the Monday as the season will draw to a close. You know, Xhaka was quite coy when asked and didn't say he was going, didn't say he was staying, and it did seem like this marriage, which has been 6, 7, maybe even 8 years, is coming to an end, and at least he leaves somewhat on a high. Saka has spoken about our collapse this season and said it hurts. It should hurt. Use the pain to drive you. He said it hurts a lot. It really hurts so much to even think about it, how we've ended the season and what could have been. But one thing I can say is since the last 2 or 3 years that I've been playing, I've seen this team and the club grow. We're going in the right direction. I hope so. One thing that the club, the fans, everyone around us can be excited about, that obviously we are going in the right direction. If you look at the past 2 or 3 years, I think when the dust settles and all the negative emotions are out, I think everyone can look at us and be excited for the future. Time is on our side. You can look at our team like a lot of the players are young. We're hungry. A lot of us haven't won at Arsenal, so we want to achieve big things. We want to win, and we want to win here. Big up you for signing a new deal. Hopefully that is the case. And obviously Martinelli, Saka, Gabriel, our centre-half, Ramsdale signed a new deal. Apparently talks continue over a new deal for William Saliba, and it'd really be a great summer if we get that confirmed, people. To kind of wrap this up, let's see what Goal.com have linked us with. We've been linked with the Torino striker Sanabria, who has 12 goals this season, but that's his highest that he's got in a league campaign. If Arteta scouted him and he thinks he's the guy, why not? But you probably want someone that is more of a physical profile than what we have, or someone that's a better goal scorer, proven goal scorer, hungrier for goals. I don't know if he's that, but we've been linked with him since his days at Barcelona. AC Milan and Napoli have also been credited. We've been linked with our third player this week from Leipzig. We're apparently scouting and monitoring Dominic Szoboszlai and Dani Olmo, which follows obviously our interest in right-sided centre-back / makeshift right-back Mohamed Sinkerman. We're in talks to get Odegaard a new deal, and we're talks with Odegaard over a new deal. He's been linked with Bayern Munich, Paris Saint-Germain and Barcelona in the last week. Saka has signed a new deal, as you already know. Nelson has been offered another new deal. We don't know where that's going to happen. Don't know if you lot believe this. I defo don't, but we're considering a move for Kimmich. Would love him in the centre of our field / at right-back at times, but that's a myth. We've joined the race for Mohamed Kudus, allegedly. Manchester United, Newcastle United, Italian giants, Milan neighbours, AC Milan and Inter also on the case, and he'll cost about €40 million. We spoke on Xhaka. Burnley want Lokonga on loan. We're looking at Gundogan and the Cancelos of this world. West Ham like the look of Balogun, Lokonga and Nelson. Allegedly, we're in pole position to acquire the services of Caicedo, and Brighton are apparently open to selling him. I would have Xavi Simons. I don't think he transforms our team, but I think in years to come, he'll show his quality. We've been linked with the PSV Eindhoven youngster who's probably seen he has seen Cody Gakpo go to Liverpool, Noni go to Chelsea, his manager Ruud van Nistelrooy leave. He has got a new agent, so maybe he's eyeing a summer move. Obviously, he's part of the Dutch national team. Half of these players that really think they can play at the Euros next summer, they've got to either get these moves early or probably stay put, because moving clubs can boost or hamper your chances of getting called up for obvious reasons. We know Ramsdale signed a new deal. We've spoken on half of these things. So with that, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know your opinions on what Saka said, what we saw with Arteta, what we saw with Smith Rowe, and all the other transfer bits and pieces. Subscribe if you haven't. Most importantly, stay safe, stay blessed, and I'll see you lot soon.
There's always just that active and defending.
I think it's like